Live from KPRC, this is Channel 2 News at 6.
2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon.
Nearly a decade in the making, all came down to these final moments. Just one of two big stories happening today.
SpaceX's Crew Dragon capsule carrying NASA astronauts Robert Behnken and Douglas Hurley now on its way to the International Space Station.
And the other big story today, a chaotic scene playing out across the country. Frustration and anger being felt by many after the killing of George Floyd.
Protesters taking to the streets for another round of demonstrations all the way from Austin to South Carolina and Ground Zero from where it all started, Minneapolis. More demonstrations are also taking place right here in Houston. Thanks so much for joining us this evening. I'm Jonathan Martinez.
And I'm Sion Rhodes. More officers will be on the ground tonight in Houston, and additional resources have been called in by Governor Greg Abbott.
We do have live team coverage with events happening in our city as well as Minneapolis, where Houston native George Floyd died while being restrained by Minneapolis police. Channel 2's Chris Gutierrez starts us off tonight from Minnesota. Chris?
Jonathan and Sion, good evening from Minneapolis tonight. We are just 10 blocks away from the scene where George Floyd was killed Monday night. And we know after 4 straight nights of unrest in this community, authorities here are tired of it and they're ready to move on. But you can see what's left. I mean, many pockets of this community are lying in this crime scene tape. And look up, lots of property has been damaged in this community. A lot of things are happening and they look just like this. We realize that Minneapolis is the epicenter of what's going on, but across the country, the ripple effect continues, including in our hometown of Houston. So we begin tonight with our Hannah McKenzie live in the 3rd Ward, where Floyd grew up, where there's a protest underway right now. Hannah, good evening to you.
Hey there. This protest started out, kind of small, couple dozen people over at Emancipation Park. It has since mobilized, and we have been marching, I would say, for the last 30 minutes or so. I want to introduce you to one of the organizers here, Justin James Jones. Justin, what does this all mean to you to know that this has been a peaceful movement so far?
It's a beautiful thing. I want everybody to see it and understand that it is possible. It is not an impossible task to come out here and peacefully protest. Houston, this is our business first. Houston, we are right here, and we can do a peaceful protest. So the rest of the world needs to know that it is possible to do a peaceful protest. We are out here marching. I see the cars coming. I know you see the TV. We on live right now. So if you go come down here and stand for peace. We got these babies out here, y'all. These babies out here, and they want to love. So let them love. Give them a better future. Let's keep it peaceful.
Perfect. And then we did have HPD join this march. You might recognize one of these faces, Chief Art Acevedo, out here as well. Chief, what does it mean for you to be out here right now?
You know what? This is our community, and what we love about our department, our community in Houston, we come together, and we're a homegrown department where the majority of our officers are families. They're from here. They look like this community, and most importantly, we stand with Justin, all these Black Lives Matter activists out here that want justice. That is what we all want out here. And most importantly, we want to respect our city and respect the memory of George Floyd by protesting, demanding action, and doing it in a way that honors his life and his memory.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Appreciate it. Alrighty, guys, you can see the march seems to have stopped temporarily. I don't know if that's because of our cameras or what, but, yep, this is kind of happening. People just spreading the word, spreading the movement, hoping others will join and continue this peaceful protest. Reporting live downtown, Hannah McKenzie, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Hannah, peaceful is the key word there. What Mayor Turner and Chief Art Acevedo don't want to see are scenes like this. I mean, take a look. We're in downtown Minneapolis, and you can see what's left of this vehicle right here. Mayor Turner has made it extremely clear that he welcomes peaceful, and he understands that people want to protest peacefully. Again, what they don't want to see are scenes like we're seeing right here in Minneapolis. For more of our team coverage now, let's continue with Brittany Jeffers live in downtown Houston with a closer look at what the mayor's saying. Brittany, good evening to you.
Good evening to you, Chris. And you said it. That is exactly what the mayor, as well as the chief of police, were reiterating over and over again, that they do want people to be able to exercise their right to peacefully protest. But they say that the city has to be able to maintain safety as well. And because of that, they say that OEM, or the Office of Emergency Management, will be activated until tomorrow. And we also heard the mayor saying that he wants people to make the call to notify law enforcement if they hear of any plans for any kind of destructive or violent riots in the city. Broken glass and defaced property. This is a look at the damage to several businesses after a peaceful protest for native Houstonian George Floyd took a turn. In this viral video, a mounted patrol horse can be seen knocking a protester to the ground and stepping on her. Houston police say it's under review. And this cell phone video shows some protesters damaging a Houston police cruiser. In all, Houston police say 16 of their cars were damaged, 8 officers injured, and 137 people arrested.
I was taken to jail for participating in, I would say, freedom of speech, but my speech isn't really free. It comes from the heart, so it costs.
Protesters saying they're angry and frustrated. And the mayor says he respects their right to protest, but doesn't want the focus, George Floyd, to be lost in the destruction.
This is the place in which he was born and reared and graduated from high school. And the actions of a few, quite frankly, are causing the focus to be taken off of George Floyd and his family. It is his family, his siblings and friends that are deeply in mourning.
Because of this, the city's activated the Office of Emergency Management until tomorrow morning, meaning full mobilization of their entire police department with forces spread throughout the city.
I am hopeful that people will be peaceful and this will be a normal evening as we move forward. That's my hope. But just simply based on what we saw yesterday, we just want to stand prepared.
Now, also something to note, of the 137 people that were arrested, I'm told that many of them did not have IDs on them, so they don't have any way of knowing at this point if they are in fact from Houston or the surrounding area. So right now I'm told that they will be doing fingerprinting to try to get some better idea of where they came from as well as their identification. Reporting live here in downtown Houston, I'm Brittany Jeffers, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Brittany, we're seeing the exact same thing here in Minneapolis. In fact, the governor estimates up to 80% of the people who are down here inciting violence aren't from Minneapolis, not even from the state of Minnesota. But one thing we are seeing is a lot of people are carrying around shovels and brooms and rakes and garbage bags because they are here to take back their city. They're working very hard this afternoon to clean up their city after, again, 4 nights of unrest in a row. And we spoke to a woman who was out there today just a short time ago cleaning up, and here's what she told us.
We take really a lot of pride in our community and we want to help clean it up. We fully support the protests, but we don't want our communities to suffer because of it.
And we should also point out that because there's so much uncertainty about what's going to happen tonight, a lot of business owners are already starting to board up their businesses. Keep in mind, there's a curfew in this community that starts in less than 2 hours now, but that curfew proved to be worthless last night because of all of the unrest and the protests that we saw, the violence that we saw. But one man said he is working really hard to save his business. Here's what he told us.
We are the last businesses standing still in a 5-mile radius, and well, we're trying to protect our location from looters, from arsonists, whoever is coming to do the damage.
The governor says he has 3 main points he needs to take care of tonight: protecting people, protecting property, and also restoring order. He's called up the full regiment of the National Guard. If that doesn't work, he says he has already been in contact with President Trump to bring in federal troops if need be. Back to you guys in Houston.
All right, Chris, thank you very much.
Liftoff of the Falcon 9 and Crew Dragon. Go NASA, go SpaceX, Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
A new era in spaceflight, launched before our very eyes. A mission, a voyage, a vision, carried out in Florida, but born in Space City.
Decades of world-changing launches and landings leading up to this. Another amazing moment in space exploration, giving a new generation a chance to witness history.
And this mission launching the return of spaceflight to American soil.
After bad weather canceled the first launch attempt on Wednesday, today all systems were go for launch. Channel 2's Roseanne Aragon joins us live from Cocoa Beach, Florida, where she got to see all the action in person. Roseanne?
That's right. While the atmosphere was just right, the energy here at Cocoa Beach was electric. For so many people, this was more than just a launch. It was a new era in space flight and an inspiring moment for generations to come. It was a moment that, because of weather, was so much sweeter.
Oh, don't have it again, please. Let us have it.
The SpaceX Demo 2 mission making history. Demo 2 Joint Operations Commander Bob Behnken and Spacecraft Commander Doug Hurley are the first NASA astronauts to reawaken manned spaceflight from American soil.
1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
And the first crew to test American-made vehicles, SpaceX's Crew Dragon atop a Falcon 9 rocket.
Just glad to be part of this whole big program.
It's probably a dream of every test pilot school student to have the opportunity to fly on a brand new spaceship, and I'm lucky enough to get that opportunity.
After suiting up, walking out these historic doors, precious moments with their family, and riding a Tesla Model X to historic Launch Pad 39A, where man first launched to the moon. Americans inspired humanity again.
To do great things like they are, putting their lives at risk, but doing great things for the future. And they're proving a point to show that we can do the same.
As people traveled from all over the nation to places like Cocoa Beach to get a glimpse of history.
She's like, I don't know if I want to go, and I think we changed her mind today.
They got what they came for.
Godspeed, Bob and Doug.
Exciting, and then you could actually feel the heat wave.
This moving milestone made Americans proud.
I was getting ready to actually tear up because it is a very special moment. Even though you only see kind of like a fire, but still, you see those two guys going up, and you're really hoping that God bless them and that they stay safe.
Breathing life in new vehicles and making Americans a step closer to going above and beyond.
Go NASA. Go SpaceX. Go America.
Always. And we know Bob and Doug have always said they are doing this not just for them, but for future crews. They were also especially excited for their family to be able to watch, especially their sons. Tonight, we know the Space Coast and Space City couldn't be more proud. Reporting live from Cocoa Beach, Florida, Roseanne Aragon, KPRC. Channel 2 News.
We certainly are proud, Roseanne. Thank you. And Houston's close connection to all things space was evident today. Residents in Seabrook hosting a watch party to see those astronauts off. The venue filled with nerves and then rounds of applause as the launch progressed. One woman says it was a big sigh of relief.
You know it's going to work out fine. You want to believe that, but to actually see it in fruition it just makes my heart happy.
Many of these folks are friends with various astronauts, so today they say was a big win for the whole community.
And as always, KPRC 2 News is your home for space coverage. You can find more information along with interviews on our website at click2houston.com. We have a whole page dedicated to space exploration.
Lending a helping hand, children across the Houston area receiving something many of us take for granted.
On the way, how one organization is making sure they get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, it's been a warm one out there today in the upper 80s. We've also seen the sea breeze start to kick off a few showers and thunderstorms. I'll show you how far inland these will get as we get through the rest of your Saturday evening. A very nice forecast, but the heat is back. We'll talk about that for the rest of the weekend. And the 10-day win. Channel 2 News at 6 returns.
Families facing food insecurities continue to get help right here in our area. Organizations hosting food distributions also adding masks to their distribution lists. Congresswoman Lizzie Fletcher and various community partners gave out thousands of masks and more than 1,000 boxes of food as well. The event was held at the Greater Macedonia Baptist Church.
More than 100 children will be able to sleep in their own beds tonight thanks to a local organization. Houston's Children's Charity started a Better Night's Sleep back in 2007. Today, it provided brand new twin beds, foundation frames, sheets and pillows and blankets to 125 kids across the Houston area. We'll be right back.
All right, tell you what, weather was pretty important today, Jeff.
Yeah, it certainly was. Well, you know, and earlier today it looked a little dicey, but they just had that perfect little window. And obviously, you know, the meteorologists that work at NASA are some of the best in the business. So kudos to the fine men and women there and everybody that got that launch off today. It was great, great stuff. So nice to see that as well. If you happen to take a picture, if you were watching it with your family at home, send it to me in a Click 2 pin. Love to see that tonight coming up at 10 o'clock. Right now, though, we're looking good. We have a lot of cloud cover out there early today. Right now, we've got basically mid to upper upper 80s, fairly comfortable forecast. You can see the winds generally out of the east-northeast, and so it feels fairly comfortable out there. The humidity level's not bad, sitting all at about 50%, even as you get down to the coast. It's below 70, so nice to see the influence of that drier air in there. Now, that said, there is still the sea breeze moving in. You can see that line there moving its way just north of Seabrook and sparking off some scattered showers and a few quick downpours. Most of the heavy stuff we've seen today, and it hasn't even been that heavy, has been down around Palacios, moving over as you get north of Edna. And that's about as much as they've been able to muster today. So jumping a little tighter, there is the sea breeze. It's that line right there, this little bay breeze coming off the North Trinity Bay there. So notice as they spark, they'll rain out whatever they've got, and that's it. And I expect those to die off pretty quickly next, let's say, 2 hours. What we're going to be watching for tomorrow is two things. We've got a little area of low pressure swirling around here. That high is still to the north of us in North Texas, but it's pulling in some of this Gulf moisture. So we'll keep a watch on that for tomorrow's forecast. You can really pick it up much nicer on the water vapor loop there. And there it is, just kind of swirling around. There's no jet stream to kind of pull it, so it's just going to sit out there for a day or two. And we've got some of the real deep stuff down in the southern Yucatan Peninsula. That's what we'll keep a watch on as we get into Monday and Tuesday's forecast. But here's the thing. Notice that the dry air today is coming in from the east and northeast. So even as we get into tonight and tomorrow, that'll get the temperatures pretty comfortable in the upper 60s, low 70s. By tomorrow afternoon, those storms, as they try to move closer to the coastline here, are going to fight that dry air. Puts a pretty good cap. And I think by 12 o'clock, we'll see some offshore, and then they pretty much just kind of fall apart as they get closer to us. I think that may be the trend we see over the next day or so. So there's going to be a real battle set up between this deeper tropical moisture coming in and this big, hot, dry area of high pressure that's going to sit up in the Central Plains. There's still a lot of humid air, too, but it's a question of which one of these is going to win out. And it does look like that there's a chance, especially as we get in towards Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, that starts to take over the forecast, keeps that east wind coming in, which will keep us just hot, but relatively dry. I'm going to have to watch this, though. One of our long-range computer models has got a pretty good little surface down here, what we call a bit of a tropical wave. Nothing to certainly concern about yet, but as we get later on into the week, we will keep a very close watch on that for the forecast. So that said, here's what we've got. Getting hot, back up into the 90s by Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even into Friday. Notice that the rain chances, guys, go up, but only until we get into the end of next weekend.
All right, getting hot again. Thank you, Justin.
All right, Vanessa, now with a look ahead to sports.
Yes, sports are returning slowly but surely, right? We're going to talk about a week from now what's going to be happening right here in the great state of Texas. Plus, the NBA has a plan. Well, 4 of them. More on the possible NBA return next. Welcome into the Xfinity Sports Desk. Well, could we see the Rockets return? A vote by the NBA's Board of Governors on the format to restart the season is expected to take place this Thursday, June 4th. Let's hope the answer to that is yes. According to ESPN, there are 4 plans currently under discussion, and Commissioner Adam Silver is expected to select one of them and put it to vote. Plan 1, 16 teams straight to playoffs. Plan 2, 20 teams in a World Cup soccer group stage format. Don't know how I feel about that one. Plan 3, 22 teams with regular season games determining seeding with the play-in tourney for final seeds, then playoffs. Plan 4, all 30 teams compete a 72-game regular season with the play-in tournament. A lot of complicated info there, but again, Commissioner Silver will select one single plan and a vote will follow. And more sports on the move. Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker has announced that the state's pro sports teams can reopen their facilities June 6th, adding that the facilities must follow the state's new health and safety regulations. The Celtics already announced that they will begin voluntary individual workouts with players June 1st. The Patriots are also planning to reopen their facilities on Monday. Well, it's definitely been a strange offseason for Texans players. Zoom meetings and outside workouts. We talked to Bernardic McKinney at Channel 2. The Texans Pro Bowl linebacker is coming off his second consecutive 100-plus tackle season. McKinney had off-season ankle surgery, but says he is strong and healthy for 2020. He's dealing with the same stuff every player is. Again, Zoom meetings, no contact. Ari Alexander talked with him this week about that weird off-season.
Trying to stay in shape because we don't know when it's time to come back, so I got to be ready whenever we get that call that we can come back and be all together. But basically just doing position-specific drills and just working on my flexibility.
And while NASCAR has returned to Darlington and Charlotte, IndyCar has still been on hold. That changes a week from today as IndyCar will make its return right here in the great state of Texas. The Genesis 300 will be different. Only 200 laps instead of the previously announced 248. Practice, qualifying, and the race will all take place in one day. That race will be on NBC Sports Network. Texas Motor Speedway is limiting the entire thing to only 900 people total allowed on the property. Masks, gloves, you name it, you can expect to see it all. But you know what? At least we will have racing. And we'll be back with more after the break.
All right, quick heads up. If you're coming out on I-10, this is inbound at Park 10. Yet is a car on fire. Looks like the fire department does have it off, or at least out anyway, but obviously that is quite a backup. We're going to watch for the heat. Guys, get back into the 90s and just a few sea breeze afternoon showers each day.
Thank you for watching us.
See you tonight at 10.